read this book. I had this book on a list for a while. Again, I've read Daniel Priestley's another book, which I reviewed. I don't have it right in handy. I forgot which other book. But anyway, this book was very, I kind of was very interested in reading. I do understand based on his other book what he meant by key person of influence, but this is more about how do you become, someone becomes a key person of influence, and the 5 steps. That's what he kind of goes through. So it's not a lengthy book or a lot of information needed here. He lays down basically his 5 steps, which is basically perfecting your pitch, publishing content, books, so on and so forth. And then, productizing whatever the product, right? So one of the things I learned from this book is your product doesn't have to be a product. It can be a service or information, something that can be productized, essentially productized, not actually a product, right? And then you have to raise your profile, and lastly, partnerships, which is something new, right? I kind of knew, but he's basically in showing that, hey, let's say you're trying to do something in an area, you cannot be deemed an expert. His whole point was you can find people there who are experts and offer something of value to form a partnership and exchange value that way, and then have a win-win relationship. Overall, I would say a great book to read for anyone who's on an entrepreneurship journey, creating their own business, and how do you evaluate yourself and create those micro niches, essentially, to be more, I would say, be the key person of influence and also generate more income, become invited to more, speaking engagement, all that stuff, which was the fascinating part. Like he shows on how you can create that essentially by yourself without, having to, regardless of what you choose, it's basically you figuring out how you create that micro niche, essentially to be able to be regarded as a key person of influence. Anyway, it's kind of hard to explain everything here in the sense that, those 5 steps are the main things, and he goes into detail about each one. For me, there wasn't a lot of new stuff, I would say, but I never thought about writing content like a, booklet or book author. That's something I learned from this one that I might think about. I just don't know what to write about right now. My passion is one thing, but that's not what I do business in. So I just have to figure out how to tie those. But I do think that he has a great point about that. It doesn't matter. It might be a free booklet, right? But regardless, if you write a book, somebody can use, that gives them an insight into who you are. And then obviously someone like me doing content like podcasts and stuff, that's another way. Although most of my podcasts are not really about the business I'm in, which is my own, that's a different conversation. But if you can do that, that's another way to be a key person of influence, right? Anyway, highly recommend this book. Although I would say it might be also a sales book, essentially, to join his program for key person of influence. So keep that in mind when you read it, though.